How do you measure success in your organization? We all have measurements of success, the end results we want to achieve. If it's a business, it's going to be sales, profits, return on investment, for example. A nonprofit, it might be benefits to constituents or the fundraising effort. A research institution might be looking at discovery, innovation, inventions. A hospital will be looking, of course, at patient outcomes as one of the key measures of success. Here's the question for you in your organization. Are you connecting these end result measures for your organization to how you're measuring your people? How do you want your people to feel about working for you? And what does that mean? One of the best measures that's used today is called employee engagement, which measures the bond between employees and a workplace. And the results are overwhelming. Gallup's research, for example, shows that companies with high level of fully engaged employees generate on average a 21% higher profit than businesses with a lower level of employee engagement. There are several studies. All studies have slightly different results, but they're all about the same. Higher the fully engaged employees, higher the results. Lower the fully engaged employees, lower the results. So when you're looking at your measurements of success, are you only looking at your end results and saying, we're doing great, we're doing wonderful, look at how phenomenal we're doing? Or do you also connect that with your employee results to say, if our employee engagement level is at 50% fully engaged, we have a huge level of potential increase in our end results that we could achieve by raising that employee engagement level. You see the connection between the two. Now, if I was a CEO and I'm running an organization and I thought about it this way, and I'm at 50%, I'd say we got to bring that to 90%. And we have to set a goal. We got to go from 50% to 90% in 5 years, because if we move that up from 50 to 90%, imagine how much our sales and our profit and our return on investment are going to improve. You see, the two are related. But what's happened is we are looking at employee engagement, employee retention, employee attraction. How are we doing with the workforce? We look at all the money and investment we're making to make the workplace as best as we can. And we look at the effort, the investment in money and time, and we say, look at all we're doing, and look, it looks pretty good, and our end results are good, so we think that's fine. And we're not looking at the measurement of our people and saying, based on that measurement, we could actually be achieving far greater end results because our employee engagement level isn't nearly where it needs to be. And the reality is, when you look at the Gallup numbers, Gallup has measured employee engagement since 2000, and the current numbers from 2021 in the United States show that only 34% of employees on average are fully engaged. That's a measurement on average of all organizations. Think about that. That means that on average, 2/3 of employees are either only partially engaged or disengaged. They're not 100% there doing their best and wanting to do their best for their organization. If that's true, clearly you can't produce the best results. But how many companies are accepting less than the employee engagement numbers that they should be accepting, and then striving in every way possible to increase their end result, but not looking at that number as something that must absolutely substantially increase? Now, I believe that what we're doing here is that we're measuring our companies, especially on the employee side, like a grading curve from school. Remember the grading curves in school? And I am dead set against grading curves, believe me. So if you have a class and 50% of the students, half of the students get a 50% on their test, on the final score for the class, which means they were 50% wrong, 50%, that becomes a C in a grading curve. And you could be at 70% and get an A on a grading curve. Whereas on an absolute grading standard, a C is 70% to 79, a B is 80 to 89, and an A is 90% plus. It doesn't matter how few or how many achieve those results. It's an absolute standard that, yes, this has been done successfully to this level. Are we doing that with our companies, and especially when it comes to the people side? If you have an employee engagement number that's even substantially above average from Gallup's average of 34% fully engaged. Let's say it's 50% fully engaged, or 55, or even 60% fully engaged. You'd say, well, wow, we are way above Gallup's average. Look, we're doing well. But that's grading yourself on a curve. What happens instead if you said we should be above 80% on fully engaged employees? Because if we were, as opposed to 55%, we would be generating a much higher level of end result, whether it's patient outcomes or profit and return on investment, or it's new inventions, whatever the measure you have, it would be much higher. So now you say it is unacceptable to be at this level because the higher level produces a higher result. We have to get off of this grading curve, especially on the people side of our business. We have to stop saying, look at all the money and the time and the effort we're investing in all the things we're doing for employees. We have leadership development, we have training, we have teamwork development, communications, we have benefit programs, we have workplace programs. And you say, look at all we're doing and it seems to be working well. Instead, look at these measurements the same way you look at your end result measurements and say, what is our potential and how close are we? I believe that almost all organizations could be doing phenomenally better than they are today.